She took my son on a weekend trip. I thought it was for his birthday. Instead, she introduced him to another man, told him to call him Dad. When I confronted her, she said, "He's better for both of us." I didn't argue. I went to court, and when she got the summons, her reaction was, "I'm 38 years old, and I thought I had the basics of life figured out. I work full-time as a mechanic in Rockford, Illinois. Not a fancy job, but it pays the bills. I don't wear suits. I don't drink craft cocktails. I work, I come home, I see my kid." That was my life after Dana and I split. Dana and I weren't married long. We got married in a hurry once we found out she was pregnant. I think we both wanted to try. For the kid. For Leo. But from the beginning, it felt shaky. She was quick to yell, I was quick to shut down. That back and forth wore us down until one day she said, "I'm done pretending this works," and just moved out. She took Leo with her to her sister's house. I didn't stop her. At first, I thought maybe we'd figure things out. But she filed for divorce before I could even get my head around what was happening. The only thing we agreed on was Leo. We both loved him. So, we split custody 50-50ths. It was messy at first, but over time, we settled into a rhythm. That's why when she texted and asked if she could take Leo on a weekend trip for his birthday, even though it was my turn to have him, I didn't argue. I just asked, "Where to?" She said Milwaukee. Water park. Maybe the Children's Museum. She made it sound innocent. I even helped Leo pack. He was so excited. Said he was going to ride water slides and maybe go to a big Lego store. I gave her $200 to help with meals and gas. Not because she asked, because I wanted Leo to have a good birthday. She picked him up Friday afternoon. I hugged him, told him to be good. Told Dana, "Text me when you get there." She didn't. I waited. Friday night came and went. Nothing. Saturday, still nothing. I texted, "Everything okay?" No response. I tried not to panic. Told myself she probably just forgot. Or her phone died. But this weird feeling sat in my gut like a cinder block. Finally, Sunday at midnight, she texted me, "We're going to stay one more night. Leo had such a good time. I'll bring him by tomorrow." No explanation. No apology. Just that. I was pissed, but I didn't fight her on it. I didn't want Leo to hear us arguing. I just wanted him home. Monday afternoon, she dropped him off. She didn't come in. Just pulled up in her SUV, Leo climbed out, and she drove off. Leo was different. Usually he's chatty. Full of stories. That day, he was quiet. Dull even. I thought maybe he was just tired. That night, I was helping him brush his teeth and I said, "So, what was the big birthday surprise?" He looked at me in the mirror and said, "We went to a man's house. He has a big backyard and a pool. Mom says he might be my new dad." I froze. "What?" "He's nice," Leo said. She said to call him Dad. I didn't want to, but she said it would make him happy. I didn't know what to say. I tucked him into bed. Then I went outside and sat on my porch. I stared at the sky for a long time. My hands were shaking. The next morning I called Dana. No answer. I texted, "We need to talk. Call me." She finally called back that afternoon. Before she could say anything, I asked, "Who the hell is this guy you took Leo to meet?" She said, "His name's Travis. We've been seeing each other. It's serious." "And you told Leo to call him Dad? Are you out of your mind?" She didn't even flinch. She said, "He's better for both of us." That sentence hit me like a truck. Like I was some useless piece of junk she'd thrown out. I didn't yell. I didn't cuss. I just said, "All right." Then I hung up. And the next day, I drove to a lawyer's office. His name was Clay Morris. Late 50s. Wore suspenders. He listened, nodded a lot, didn't talk much until I finished. When I told him about Dana letting some guy play dad and messing with my son's head, he didn't even blink. He just said, "We can fight that." I wasn't trying to take Leo away from Dana completely. I just wanted the courts to see that what she did was reckless. Manipulative. She put our son in a confusing situation and didn't even think twice about it. We filed to modify custody. I asked for full legal custody and primary physical custody, with supervised visitation for Dana until she got her act together. 2 weeks later, Dana got served at work. I found out from a friend who works near her office. Said she lost her mind. Started screaming, crying, stormed out of the building. That night, my phone rang. I answered. UF ****ing bastard, she said. I didn't respond. You're trying to steal my son. I stayed calm. I'm protecting him. He loves Travis. You've known the guy 3 months. I've known enough to know he's stable. Unlike you. I wanted to laugh. I really did. But I didn't. I just said, see you in court. Then I hung up. She didn't back down. If anything, she doubled down. She started showing up late for pickups. Started sending Leo to me with weird comments like, Mom says you're mad because you don't have a girlfriend. She told the court I was controlling. That I worked too much. That Leo was better off with her and Travis. I kept everything documented. Every late pickup. Every message. Every time Leo came home confused or upset. The court ordered a temporary hearing. I sat there while Dana cried to the judge. Said I was emotionally distant. That Leo loved Travis and she didn't want to disrupt that bond. I had emails, texts. I had Leo's words written down in a journal. I had photos, evidence. The judge wasn't impressed with Dana's stunt. He gave me temporary full custody until the full hearing could be scheduled. Dana lost it, right there in court. She screamed, "You're ruining my life." The judge banged his gavel and told her to calm down or leave. I didn't say a word. I just looked down at the table and let her dig her own grave. After the judge gave me temporary full custody, things got worse before they got better. Dana stopped pretending. She used to at least fake being civil, but now she was full-blown hostile. She'd call in the middle of the night screaming. Once, she even showed up at my house at 7 a.m. on a Sunday banging on the door, demanding to see her son. I didn't let her in. Leo was still sleeping. I stood in the doorway, blocking her view, and told her to leave. "You think you're a better parent than me?" she yelled. "You don't even know how to talk to him. You don't understand him." I said, "You're the one who told him to call another man Dad." Her face turned red, but I shut the door before she could respond. After that, I installed security cameras. Front door, back porch, driveway. I wasn't taking chances. Leo started asking questions. Why can't I stay with Mommy this week? Why is Mommy crying all the time? Did I do something wrong? That last one nearly broke me. I sat him down and told him the truth in a way he could understand.
No, buddy.
You didn't do anything wrong. Grown-ups sometimes fight about things. That's not your fault. Mommy and I both love you. That's what matters. He nodded, but I could tell he was still confused. Still hurt. I did my best to keep his life normal. Took him to the park. Built Lego sets together. Movie nights every Friday. I had to show him some kind of stability, even if I was barely holding it together inside. The real twist came about a month before the final custody hearing. I got a call from Dana's sister, Tasha. We hadn't spoken much since the divorce. I figured she was on Dana's side. But that day, she called me from her car and said, "I need to tell you something." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "What's going on?" "I'm not getting in the middle of your court stuff, okay?" she said. "But I can't sit on this anymore." My heart was already racing. "Travis," she said.
Dana's boyfriend?
The guy she had Leo calling Dad? He's not who she says he is.
I didn't say anything.
I just listened. He's got a record, Tasha said. Not just parking tickets or some weed charge. He's got domestic violence charges.
Twice.
First one was dropped, second one he took a plea. 6 months probation. My blood went cold. She kept talking. Dana said it was all a misunderstanding. That his ex was crazy. But I've seen the way he talks to her. I've seen him grab her arm. I don't like it. And I sure as hell don't want Leo around that. I thanked her. Then I hung up and called Clay my lawyer. He already had a private investigator digging into Travis, but this gave us the lead we needed. Clay found the records, court documents, a restraining order that was granted for a full year against him 5 years ago. I couldn't believe Dana knew, and still brought Leo around him. Told Leo to call him Dad. We filed a motion to present the new findings in court. Clay added a request for Dana to have only supervised visitation from that point forward. She must have gotten tipped off because that same night, she showed up again.
This time at my job.
I was outside the garage, finishing up paperwork. She walked up out of nowhere, looking frantic. "I need to talk to you," she said, eyes wild. "You shouldn't be here."
I didn't know, she said.
"I didn't know about Travis's past, okay? He told me it was nothing. So you just believed him?" I asked. "You didn't think to check before bringing our son around him?" "I made a mistake." "No," I said. "You made a choice. That's not the same." She broke down crying, right there, outside the garage, in front of 2 of my coworkers. I didn't say anything else. I went back inside. A week later, the judge approved the motion. Dana's visitation was restricted. She could only see Leo under supervision at a family center.
No overnights. No Travis.
No games. She appealed, claimed it was unfair, said I manipulated the system. But the judge didn't budge. She told the court I was trying to turn Leo against her. I showed proof that she was the one filling his head with lies, using him like a pawn in some twisted game to replace me. I stayed calm, kept my tone even, let Clay do the talking when I felt my emotions creeping up. Dana, on the other hand, blew up in court again. Called me a controlling narcissist. Told the judge I was a bitter ex trying to punish her. The judge looked over her glasses and said, "This is a child custody case, not a therapy session. Please focus." Then came the last straw. One of the visitation center staff members reached out. Told the court that Dana had tried to sneak Travis in through the back door during one of her sessions with Leo. They caught her. She claimed it was just a misunderstanding. The judge scheduled an emergency review hearing. And I knew, in that moment, Dana had officially blown it. After Dana got caught trying to sneak Travis into the supervised visitation center, the court took action fast. The judge suspended all visitation until the emergency hearing. Dana was furious, of course. She left voicemails threatening to go public, whatever that meant. Said she was going to expose me. I didn't even respond. I just forwarded everything to Clay. Then one night, about 2 weeks before the hearing, I got a knock at my door. It was Tasha again, Dana's sister. She looked nervous. Kept looking over her shoulder. "You got a minute?" she asked. I let her in. We sat at the kitchen table while Leo was asleep in his room. "I wasn't going to tell you this," she said, "but I can't let Dana destroy Leo's life just because she's angry at you." "What now?" I asked. She took a breath. "Dana's not just seeing Travis. She's been in contact with Leo's old babysitter, Shannon. The one you guys stopped using after that weird night where she didn't answer your calls." I nodded slowly. I hadn't thought about Shannon in over a year. "Well," Tasha said, "Dana's been trying to pay her under the table to pick up Leo from school without your permission. She wanted Shannon to bring Leo to her house without the court knowing." I stared at her, stunned. "She didn't go through with it," Tasha said quickly. "Shannon refused. Said it was illegal. But Dana tried, Marcus. She actually tried." I felt like I was breathing through a straw. She would have taken him, disappeared with him. It was kidnapping. Plain and simple. I called Clay first thing the next morning. Told him everything. By noon, he filed for an emergency protective order. The court moved fast. Dana was ordered to stay away from Leo. No contact, no visits, not even supervised ones, until further review. When she was served, she went ballistic. She tried to call me 8 times in an hour. Left screaming voicemails, said I was ruining her life and poisoning her son. Then the anonymous emails started. They were sent from fake accounts, all full of lies, claiming I was abusive, that I neglected Leo, that I had anger issues. She even sent one to my boss at the garage. He pulled me aside. I got some weird emails about you, he said. Didn't believe a word, just thought you should know. That's when I realized Dana was spiraling.
Badly.
She was losing control, and she couldn't stand it. A week before the final hearing, Clay called me. She's filing for emergency custody, he said. Claiming Leo's in danger under your care. She's trying to flip the whole thing. I asked him if we should be worried. He said, not if the judge has a brain. Still, I didn't sleep much that week. At the hearing, Dana showed up with a new lawyer. Some flashy guy in a shiny suit who looked like he belonged in a reality show, not a courtroom. They came in swinging. Dana cried on the stand. Said I was cold. Said Leo didn't feel safe with me. Brought up how I once raised my voice during a pickup. Said I slammed a door. Then she showed screenshots of texts, cherry-picked ones, where I sounded angry, desperate, defensive. I felt sick. But then it was our turn. Clay laid out everything. Every lie. Every manipulation. He showed the judge the voicemails. The attempted sneak-in at the visitation center. The call logs. The text messages. The thing with the babysitter. Even the emails sent to my boss. Then, he dropped the final hammer. Security footage from my home cameras, including one where Dana screamed at my front door while Leo watched from the window. The judge sat silently for a moment after it all. Then she looked at Dana and said, I don't think you understand how close you are to losing all parental rights. Dana's lawyer tried to object. The judge cut him off. She ordered a full psychological evaluation. And she ruled that Leo would stay in my custody.
Permanently.
Dana would have to complete parenting classes, therapy, and pass all future evaluations before visitation would even be considered again. And she still had no say in legal decisions. Dana sat there frozen. For once, she didn't say a word. Her hands were clenched in her lap. Her face pale. She didn't even look at me when she left the courtroom. But I knew it wasn't over.
Not yet.
Because what I didn't know was that she still had one more move left. And it was the lowest of all. After the judge ruled in my favor and gave me full custody of Leo, things were quiet for maybe 3 weeks. Dana vanished off the radar. No calls. No texts. No weird emails. It was like she'd dropped off the face of the earth. I should have known that kind of silence wasn't peace. It was planning. Then one afternoon I got a letter in the mail. Not from the court. Not from a lawyer. From the Department of Child Services.
Someone had reported me.
The letter said there was an anonymous complaint that I emotionally abused Leo, neglected his needs, and kept him isolated from his mother. They were coming to investigate. My stomach dropped. I knew exactly who had done it. Dana was trying to go around the court by using the system against me. A DCS agent showed up 2 days later. She was professional.
Calm.
Walked through the house. Talked to Leo privately. Asked about his routine, his feelings, how school was going. Leo told her the truth. He said, Dad plays with me. We eat waffles and build Legos. I feel safe here. I wasn't in the room, but she told me afterward. She said, he's a happy, well-cared-for boy. I don't see any signs of neglect. But I'll still need to close the file, officially. A week later, I got a formal letter. Case closed. Unfounded. No action required. Dana failed again. But that wasn't the end. 3 weeks later, I was driving Leo home from school when I noticed a car following us. I turned left. It turned left. I turned right.
It turned right.
I didn't panic, but I kept cool. I pulled into a gas station and watched in the mirror. It was Travis. The guy Dana told Leo to call Dad. He sat in his car, staring at me. I stared back. He pulled away after a minute. I called Clay that night. He told me to report it. So I did. I filed a police report and gave them the plate number. That one incident didn't go anywhere, but it showed me something important. Dana was using Travis to do the things she legally couldn't. I started documenting everything again. Then one night Leo said something that chilled me. He said, Mommy says you're trying to erase her. I looked at him. When did she say that? He looked down. Last week. At school. My blood ran cold. She wasn't allowed to contact him. Not even at school. The next morning, I called the principal. They checked the security footage. Dana had parked across the street and waved Leo over before school. They caught it on camera. 10 seconds. Just enough time to plant that poison in his head. That was a violation of the court order. A big one. Clay filed the paperwork the same day. This time, it stuck. Dana was charged with contempt of court. The judge was furious. Said Dana had no respect for the law or for Leo's emotional safety. Her visitations were not just suspended, they were shut down completely. Indefinitely. She was fined. Ordered to attend psychiatric evaluation. Put on supervised probation with the court. That's when her life started crumbling for real. I heard she lost her job. Word got around about the court case. About the attempted parental kidnapping. About the reports, the restraining order violations, everything. She tried to file for unemployment, but there was an issue with the paperwork. A mess she caused herself. Her sister Tasha, who had stood by her until that point, cut ties completely. Tasha told me later, she's not the sister I grew up with. She became someone else. Even Travis left her. Apparently, once Dana couldn't see Leo, Travis stopped showing up. Took off without a word. Probably found someone else to manipulate. She had burned every bridge. Last I heard, she moved back in with her mother out in Belvedere. No job.
No custody. No Travis. No Leo.
That was her karma. But here's mine. Because I wasn't perfect either. There were nights I could have handled things better. Times I lost my temper, not in front of Leo, but still. I let anger live in my chest for too long. I almost let it change me. I went to therapy, not because a court told me to, because I didn't want to be another bitter man raising a boy who'd learned to hate women. I wanted to raise Leo right. With love. With boundaries. With truth. And one day, years from now, when Leo asks me what happened with his mom, I'll tell him the truth. But I'll tell it gently. Because he doesn't need to carry our pain. He just needs to know he was loved. Protected. Wanted. It's been 2 years since that first court hearing. Dana hasn't tried to contact us again. I still get anxious sometimes when I see her car model on the road. But Leo's doing better. He smiles more. Laughs louder. And he doesn't call anyone else dad. Just me.